Good day, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Joining us today, we've got Hiten Bhatt, an international speaker and the author of The Leadership Adventure. Thank you, Hiten. As part of our lockdown series today, we'll be focusing on leadership and overcoming challenges. For the first question for Hiten, so as a trainer and a coach, you have helped business leaders from diverse walks of life to improve their mental well-being, leadership skills, and emotional intelligence. Can you tell me more about your journey and how you kind of come to where you are at this current stage?
Sure, I will. Thank you very much, Vishal, first of all, for inviting me to speak today. And so my journey has been, I started in the legal profession and thought that there was something that I wanted to do. And sometimes in life, our goals change, because what I found was that I was in a job and in a career where I didn't enjoy what I was doing. And it was very much a case of sort of feeling like every Sunday past 4 o'clock, you'd get this horrible sinking, depressive feeling because it's another week of work that you don't actually enjoy, that you're not connected with. And, you know, on a Friday, you'd be elated because it's the weekend. Yeah. And I thought to myself, this is not any way to live, and something that's very important is, I think, for our well-being and happiness is to do something that you actually love and to do something that you're passionate about. Mm-hmm. And I've been very, very blessed in my life to have great teachers, great coaches, great mentors. And I've always been very much interested in the field of personal development and personal growth. So something that I know absolutely true of everyone is we all have infinite potential. We've got so much potential and we don't use our potential. There's so much we can give. And my sort of entrepreneurial journey into the world of coaching and writing and training was to try to actualize some of that creativity and some of that passion that I have. And that's what led me to make a transition from the legal profession into the field of personal development and everything that I'm doing now.
Amazing. Just a question throwing out there. So as we know, COVID-19 has brought its own challenges for, say, business worldwide, right? So what advice can you share to business leaders at this given time? Like, what should be that given mindset that people should be kind of adhering to?
So yes, I think that this particular period of time is very stressful and can be very uncertain. And at times of uncertainty and stress, we feel anxiety, we feel pressure. And of course, business leaders, and certainly with the conversation that I'm having with many entrepreneurs and business leaders, is many of them not only are feeling pressure in terms of their own business and the things that, the career that they've built themselves, but also looking after their staff and looking after their people and looking after their welfare as well. So it is challenging times. There is a lot of uncertainty around. However, mindset and the way we think about things is key, right? I think what that does is when we have the right mindset, it allows us to be able to solve our problems creatively, be able to think outside of the box and think in an innovative way. And one of the fundamental advice that I would give to business leaders in terms of being able to have the right mindset is this idea about thinking very carefully about what they control and what they don't control. Because a lot of our stress comes from feeling out of control, right? And there's an amazing quote, and it's basically the Serenity Prayer. And the Serenity Prayer goes like this. The Serenity Prayer goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Wow. So there's 3 parts to the Serenity Prayer, but Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he refers to serenity prayer, and he's got an amazing concept called the sphere of control. Okay. So basically, the serenity prayer and what Stephen Covey speaks about is the sphere of control, what you control and what you don't control. And I think business leaders and entrepreneurs should get very clear about, and everybody actually, for that matter, whoever you are, should get very clear about, in this situation, what can you control and what can you not control. And the idea is you do what you can to take action and positive steps amongst the sphere of control, what you actually can do. Mm-hmm. But other things you learn and you train yourself not to worry about. So you have serenity about things that you don't actually have any control over. And that obviously takes a lot of practice to do, but there's no point in worrying over spilt milk. A better thing to do would be to get a mop and, mop up the milk, because the milk's already spilt, so you can't do anything about it. It's illogical to worry and stress about things that you don't actually have control over. This is what's called solution-focused thinking. And leaders need to have solution-focused thinking. We can spend our whole life worrying, stressing, what's going to happen. But being in the now is actually about taking action, taking positive steps with what you actually can control, and being very clear about what you can control. So that's a massive area, but being in the now and being present is very, very important. Being solution-focused, not letting emotions and stress get the better of you.
Perfect. No, that's amazing sort of advice. Like recently I was watching the documentary, The Last Dance, with Michael Jordan, and even he kind of emphasized, the importance of living in the present. So I definitely agree on that side. So next question. So, with the current lockdown and gradually as normality returns, are there any essential tips you can offer for mental well-being? As you know, many of us are still suffering from anxiety and other kind of mental health issues on a daily basis. So how do people kind of adapt to this kind of situation in the current time?
Yeah, that's a great question, Vishal. Great question. And the whole area of mental well-being awareness week has just passed. We've just and now, even before COVID-19, there was a lot of momentum around the subject of mental well-being in the workplace, and I think the situation and the pandemic has only made that even more people speaking about mental well-being and being open about it, which is only a positive thing. I think the stigma around it is getting less, which is great to see. And there are many ways of dealing with our mental well-being and helping us deal with our feelings and our feelings of stress and anxiety. But one of the biggest ones that I think is so important, and it comes back to this idea of control, is being organized and having a schedule, right? And you may have heard of a great psychologist by the name of Jordan Peterson. And Jordan Peterson, he's famous on YouTube and does fantastic work. And he actually speaks about, what he's famous for saying is clean your room, right? And the advice is almost like, why do you have to clean your room? Because our internal world and our external world are connected. Mm-hmm. So when you clean your room, or you organize, or you make a list, or you have a schedule, those things allow you to actually gain control over your thoughts. It gives you a sense of well-being and control. Mm-hmm. When you have a plan for your day, when you wake up in the morning and you don't know, you're in your house, you've got a little bit of work, let's say you're working from home, you've got a little bit of work to do, and you kind of, your day kind of goes, well, I don't know what to do with my day now, and you end up on your phone, you end up just on social media, you end up wasting your time. You allow other people's input to influence, negative stories about what's happening with the pandemic and what's happening with this and the uncertain economy. All this negativity is going into you, where you're allowing other people's influences to influence your day, right?
Right.
So the biggest thing that you can do for your mental well-being is to actually have a plan for your day. It sounds simple,
Yeah.
and to be super organized around your schedule. What am I, again, it's that thing of control, right? Right, I can write, I can do this, I can work on this project, I can bake a cake. Today I'm baking a cake, right? I'm baking today. That, even a thing like that, it gives you a sense of control. It gives you a sense of your schedule, of moving forward. You're not allowing yourself to just be influenced by the media, by other people's influences, and also the other thing I would say is to try to keep your influences as positive as possible. It's very important, right? You know, try to avoid negativity in all its forms. Your input should be as positive as possible, but have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, somebody else has a plan for you.
Yeah. Perfect. That's a very, very kind of informative kind of way to kind of deal with mental kind of, to attain that mental well-being. Now, really appreciate that. So now the fourth question, or more in terms of, I would like to say congratulations on publishing your own very book titled The Leadership Adventure. Titled The Leadership Adventure. So what can kind of readers take away from this book, and how can they implement positive changes in their day-to-day life?
Oh yes, I think with The Leadership Adventure, and the subtitle is The 5 Powerful Secrets Every Leader Should Know. Okay. And there's a few ideas in that. One of the ideas is that everyone is a leader, not just a CEO, not just a boss. Everyone can act as a leader. In your family, you can be a leader to your family. In your friend circle, you can be a leader to your friend circle. Everybody has the ability to be a leader. And one of the things that I always say is it always starts with the individual, because the individual then goes on to, however the individual is influences the team, right? The team's energy then influences the business. The business then goes on to conquer the world. But it starts with the individual, right? So one of the first steps, one of the big ideas in that book is about self-mastery, is about every leader looking within themselves and being honest about their own weaknesses, facing your own demons, facing the own things that are holding back your infinite potential, and actually going to war with yourself. Actually going to war with yourself in the sense of, not in the sense of feeling bad about yourself and low self-esteem. I don't mean it that way, but genuinely moving yourself towards uprooting your own weaknesses. A fantastic book that also very much emphasizes this, and I would recommend any viewers to actually read this book, is a book by ex-Navy SEAL and ultra-marathon runner, David Goggins. Okay. And he's written a book called Can't Hurt Me. It's a New York bestseller. Fantastic. But he also talks about the importance of every leader taking out time to look within themselves, saying, what are my weaknesses? What are the things that I need to work on? And going to war with those weaknesses. Moving towards self-mastery. And that gives you a great amount of self-esteem. You know, we almost have to have a daily war, a daily battle, right? The Navy SEALs have a fantastic concept. I think it's something like win your trident every day, win your trident every day. So you have to do the things every day that you might not want to do. Wake up at 5 a.m., exercise, eat healthy, whatever it is. Also, it's a slow process, but when you do those things, they give you a tremendous amount of self-esteem, make you feel good about yourself, and then your mental well-being is a lot better. But when you let yourself down, maybe when you're eating junk food and watching Netflix, nothing wrong with that, by the way, in moderation, but when you let yourself down, then you don't feel as good about yourself. So for leaders, self-mastery is key.
Perfect. And I can see that kind of comparison, as you said, about, having that battle every day. And it just reminds me of, like, just from reading the Bhagavad Gita, where, Lord Krishna is telling Arjun, you constantly have to, there's a Mahabharat battle happening within yourself, you know, the whole time. And yeah, no, I totally agree. So once we can kind of battle our kind of our self-doubts and various egos, you know, we can kind of become that leader who we want to kind of aspire to be. But I really appreciate your time today, Hiten. And hopefully I will definitely be reading that book. And thank you very much for today.
I really enjoyed it. Thanks so much, Vishal. Really enjoyed it.